name is Knowlton Nash, and we're here live in CBC Ottawa studios today on April 17th, 1982, just outside Parliament Hill, where Mr. Trudeau just hours ago signed the Constitution of Canada with the Queen. Good afternoon, Mr. Trudeau. How are you feeling today?
Good afternoon, Nolan. Well, it's been a busy and exciting day so far, and it's only just noon. Just hours ago, I gave my speech in front of thousands of my fellow Canadians, and even more who were listening on the radio or watching on the TV all across Canada.
Well, Mr. Trudeau, let's get right into it. I'm sure many Canadians have questions for you regarding the Constitution. First of all, how have the provinces agreed to sign the Constitution and gone for such a large change?
Well, Nolan, it took years to plan, and only 9 of the 10 provinces still agree with the Constitution, the one missing being Quebec. Canada's Constitution should not be easy to change because if it would, in a lack of better terms, it would be unconstitutional. We needed to meet all the provinces' needs because Canada is a large landmass, and the Constitution will give Canada more pleasant and better way of living according to the environment and economy.
Now, you say more pleasant living. What does that really mean?
Well, the provinces will be able to adapt to their needs because an example is Ontario and Quebec. Even though they're close to each other, they have many differences. Ontario is a hub for America for producing and manufacturing goods, while Quebec's, with their large hydroelectric power, they sell their energy and sell lumber to America, so we have different manufacturing. Also, the provinces have more control in certain sectors that will help them strengthen their economy, which will grant the citizens a better way of life.
Well, Prime Minister, let's pursue that a little further. Will we have any ties left with Britain since we've now gained full independence?
Yes. So we still view the Queen as our monarch, but politically we've become fully independent. We will still be great trading partners with Britain to strengthen ours and theirs economy.
So, I understand that 7 new parts have been added. Tell me, many Canadians are wondering how will this affect them directly?
Well, so now the government, it will guarantee the rights and lands of Aboriginal people who before were discarded. And now the federal and provincial governments will not be infringing on my fellow citizens' rights and freedoms. So it will expand the range of judicial views because it allows judges to be anonymous to the public when enforcing bills, which will lead them to make better and more suitable decisions.
That's fascinating. Why don't you expand on that? How will this lead to better decision making?
Well, it can lead to better decision making because judges and high-ranking officials won't be pressured into making forced decisions by mobs of violent activity. This just occurred in Quebec when the referendum occurred because of the separatist groups.
And how do you believe, Prime Minister, that this can benefit Canada federally and provincially, and how can it benefit the economy?
Well, provinces will have more jurisdictions over resources, allowing them to spend more money on their economy. So Quebec may have more money because of hydroelectric power. So the government will equalize wages for a better pay and a stronger economy, while distributing the country's wealth to provinces that are in need.
Well, Prime Minister, we have members of other media, other sources, and I'm sure they'd like to ask some questions that Canadians might find relevant. We've got Joanne Freeman from the CTV. Joanne, please go ahead and ask your question.
Prime Minister Trudeau, why did it take so long for someone to repatriate the Constitution?
Well, most provinces cannot agree, and Quebec was in a referendum because of Quebec's separatist group. So Jean Chrétien, a Liberal, lobbied with their wishes so they wouldn't do any more harm. We met for 18 months discussing the areas of reformation, and we finally came up with the correct amending formula, which provinces were able to agree and sign the Constitution.
We've got Mark Roger here from City News. Mark, go ahead, ask your question.
Hi, it's Mark. So, why does Quebec still not agree with the changes?
Well, Quebec's in a difficult situation right now, Mark. We just finished the Quebec Reformation, and now the people are split on what to do. The quiet ones want to join Canada in its new legacy, but many still believe in an independent Quebec, and that's what the separatist group believed in. But obviously they were wrong because they were defeated. Because of our new rights, many Quebecers and non-Quebecers will feel much more comfortable in the areas they are living in because of our bilingual country.
We've got a question from over the pond. I see Sarah Crawford is here with us from the BBC. Sarah, please go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you. Mr. Prime Minister, what is your take on how Canada's economy will change now?
Well, Canada's economy will change for the better. Because provinces are gaining more responsibility, they will be able to understand the problems that are happening in their area. The federal government will still have control, just the branches of responsibility will be spread to give provinces more control. This will help provinces invest into the type of resources they need, such as school systems, transportation, public transportation and private transportation, and protection of natural resources, such as in British Columbia or Nova Scotia with fishing.
I see we have a question from our French-Canadian friends who haven't signed the Constitution yet, but I see a question from Paul Jacquelot. Bonjour, Jacques. Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Paul here. How will this affect Quebecers?
Well, this will make Canada a more bilingual country. It's because French and English mandate in all schools, and French-speaking people outside Quebec will feel more comfortable, and English-speaking people in Quebec will feel more comfortable. This will tie our country together.
Thank you.
Well, that's all the time we got this evening, and it's a real pleasure here to have an exclusive interview with Prime Minister Trudeau on Canada's outlook on the new Constitution. We thank Mr. Trudeau for joining us, and thank you, viewers, for tuning in. And I'm Knowlton Nash reporting for the CBC. See you next time.